Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal. In this incarnation, the moon today has entered in Pisces. Today is October 4th. In a square with Uranus in Gemini. So notice if in those kind of contacts, these tensions, there is an excess of information where you could be putting your focus, or if there are excess of thoughts or energy invested in situations that are not truly being part of our essential growth, because the moon in here, in Pisces, dissolve our barriers, and we could be much more sensitive to the energies of the environment. Therefore, it is very important with the moon in Pisces and for life without it, to choose the spaces that we are going to inhabit, and if for certain reasons we have to transit something because we don't have the control and because life is taking to transit those things, being able to establishing boundaries if there are dynamics that are producing energetic drains. Today, the moon is approaching the north node in Pisces. It is going to be perfected, tomorrow, but we are still feeling that today. And it is reactivating. This means that it is opposing the conjunction between Venus and the south node in Virgo. That was a key transit this week. So if we are willing, because the moon speaks of our emotional world, if we are willing to feel, to listen to ourselves, we could see with clarity certain mechanisms that are generating imbalances in the relationships, in our relationships, and in the relationship with our own self-worth. And these patterns and programmings, we have to take them account in the context of the full moon in Aries, because could be that the attachment to the desire of an immediate result, an immediate manifestation from this energy of impatience that later derives in frustration if that doesn't occur, could hide, behind wanting that immediate result, the true desire of feeling valuable, feeling enough, feeling capable. I mean, Venus in astrology symbolizes the desire, the attraction, receptivity, and Aries, which regent is Mars, represents the masculine polarity of fire through which we take action to go for that we want to receive. And we don't have to forget that every reception requires to give. So Aries, it is this sacred spark of the desire that moves us, towards ahead, that moves us ahead. And happens that, our desires could be distorted. I mean, they could also be a deviation of our path when they are being impulsed from imbalances of our identity. For example, the desire of, having a partner, of love and being loved. That is a genuine desire of connection with light, a desire that could represent growth, but it is colored by programmings when, for example, we want a person to come to our lives to make us avoid the pain, to, to give us joyful emotions, and that can actually make us not feel the pain of the present, because there is no desire of giving or sharing there. It is actually wanting that the other person can save me from myself. So there is selfishness in that, but in a certain way, going through that circumstance, it is something necessary to discover that even if that desire could be materialized and the person appears, it is not going to be capable to to save for us the labor that we have to do to find our own center and plenitude. In fact, eventually the person is going to reflect that what we didn't want to see. So we could translate this to other experiences, such as wanting, desiring economic success. Economic success could be different things for one person or another, but if that desire is only linked, or to have things for myself and for other people seeing me in a certain way, it is I am measuring my value in terms of the quantity of resources that I have, and not my capacity of growth, of learning, of acting in a responsible way, or facing my fears, etc. So that desire is coming from a programming. And other person could desire a great quantity of resources, but those resources are not only for himself or herself. The person could want them to put them at the service of projects that can contribute with society. So that desire, that ambition, is emerging from a space that is much more elevated. Because there is an intention of generating something positive for the world, and because no one actually needs to accumulate and to have 1,000 of things that it is not going to, or she is not going to use. We disincarnate at the end of our lives in here, and everything loses value and sense. But when we are here using the matter with elevated purposes, means everything gains light. And this is not to feel, shame or to feel judged. It is only to recognize when we are desiring things right here and right now from this illusion of the ego. When I'm having that thing, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel better with myself. I'm going to feel valued. If that person comes back, I'm going to feel appreciated. Truly, the opportunity of cultivating those things is right here, right now, even if there are people that are not in the exact place that they would like to the most. But from that presence, from the acceptance of the present, with emotions that we are actually transiting and practicing, this is a very challenging thing to do, not judging ourselves, not judging our emotions or what we are transiting right now, but it is a very nice practice. It is that we can take a direction to walk forth, and that direction will always represent, learning things about ourselves and revealing aspects that we weren't conscious about. The thing is that the more that direction and the intentions that are impulsing that are connected with our soul, that is a sign of growth, and that we are moving forward in a coherence with an increasing amount of consciousness. So many times life, it is not giving us what we exactly want or in the moment that we want it, because if that happened, we wouldn't be able to grow. We wouldn't be able to perhaps to sustain, to appreciate, to evolve, or to enjoy of certain things. Life gives us in the end what is required for us right now. Because when there is permanent worries about the future from a place of fear, or focus in the past from a place of pain and suffering, that doesn't end with a specific result. That is a pattern that lives in us, and that could prevent us to feel plenitude, even if something that we really wanted is happening. So pretending to only experiment like emotions of pleasure, it is in a certain way a childish desire that is in fact pushing us away from inhabiting the great spectrum of emotions, of human emotions, that is very amplified. And even though we could experiment this, we could also learn to enjoy the high moments of life without without losing, without disconnecting ourselves from earth. And we could learn, to accept the low moments, opening ourselves to the light that they are hiding, without losing the connection with the sky. This means the sacred spark of the spirit that is inhabiting in us and in everything that exists. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.